Legend has it that at the height of the US-Soviet space race, NASA scientists spent millions of taxpayer dollars to develop a pen that would work in zero gravity. The Soviets, they sent their cosmonauts up with a pencil. The story, alas, is a myth. Fake news. Records actually show that NASA ordered 35 mechanical pencils in 1965 at an only modestly ludicrous $128 a pop, which caused its own little scandal at the time. But it rings true today in one important sense. The technology is not always the solution. In fact, sometimes it becomes the problem. Fast forward to 2021, and America's chief adversary on the global stage is no longer Russia, much as President Putin wishes it were. It's China, a country that has experienced astronomical growth in the last few decades, with an economy that's expanded by $12 trillion in the last 15 years alone. And thanks in part to an ability to weather the coronavirus pandemic far better than its Western counterparts, Wall Street analysts now expect China to unseat the United States as the world's largest economy by 2028. That's 5 years earlier than most previous forecasts, pre-pandemic. Much of that economic growth is going straight into military spending, with a defense budget that's seen a nearly 7-fold increase over the past 20 years. China now spends more on its defense than Japan, South Korea, the Philippines, and Vietnam combined. Beijing hasn't been shy about flexing their military might either, through skirmishes in the South China Sea and high-altitude dust-ups with India on their Himalayan border. And yet, its military spending still pales in comparison to that of the United States, which dropped somewhere in the neighborhood of $450 billion more on defense than China in 2019. But despite all the money that both nations have pumped into fancy new battleships and armored tanks, they also understand that a key paradigm shift in 21st century warfare is already well underway. The decisive battles of the future will largely be fought and won or lost in cyberspace. This is not a hypothetical. In fact, in just the last few months alone, the United States has weathered at least 3 extensive and severe cyber espionage operations, 2 of which were directly linked to China. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, warned last month that China's latest hacking campaign is, quote, affecting U.S. government agencies, critical infrastructure entities, and other private sector organizations. Despite its global dominance when it comes to cyber attacks, the United States is severely lacking in cyber defense. And that begs the trillion-dollar question. What good are fighter jets or nuclear submarines if the enemy can disable them with a few lines of computer code? Is the United States still spinning its wheels on that perfect space pen, while China takes over the world with a pencil?